My YouTube set up now. Dear God. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think I'm good everywhere. think I'm good everywhere. Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm What's up? Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Cherry says, can it be necessary to do cord cuttings from friends? Like, is it necessary? Can it be necessary? Absolutely. A cord cutting is done to sever the energetic connection between you and another person. Hey, Farah. Hi, Farah. How are you? Uh huh. Farah, you're on Instagram. Can you hear me, Farah? Let me know if you can hear me. This is my first time trying this. Hey. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Christina. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, so it's used to cut the energetic tie between you and another person, period. I'm well. I hope you are too. I can hear. Okay, good, good, good. Just so you know, we're doing a spiritual Q&A. So if you have any questions on spirituality, anything of that nature, honey, this is what we're here to discuss. Okay. So yeah, so again, if it is someone who you're like, this person is toxic, this person has been attached to me, financially attached to me, attached to my energy, and I need to remove this person out of my life. I need to remove their energy out of my energy. You definitely can do a cord cutting. Absolutely. Cord cutting is not just for romantic relationships. Mhm. It's not just for romantic relationships. I was born with the veil. What are your thoughts? Oh yes, child. You are one of the children who were the seers. Okay, you are a child that was born with certain spiritual abilities, certain spiritual gifts as children were. Most children have those abilities. Some children have abilities that are more awakened and more active than others. Is there a specific way to do a cord cutting? I mean, it's always good to, you know, have some guidance if you've never done one. So I offer root working consultation. You can book a root working consultation with me and I can walk you through that and or discover if there is other things that you need to do. And I could give you that. I sun gazed for the first time yesterday. It was touching. Any thoughts? Yeah, connecting with that solar energy is so powerful. It's a powerful thing. It is energizing. It is charging. It charges your energy, charges your frequency, and even on a physical level. Oh, I see your question, Farah. Even on a physical level, it the what vitamin D does to boost the energy and the things in your body, you know, it's amazing. How can one determine which ancestors are communicating with them? Farah asked. Farah, you can do that by way of conducting a divination. Okay. You can do divination and ask your spirit team to reveal, for instance, characteristics of the ancestor. Like if you want to do it yourself and say, you're like, I do tarot. That's all I do, right? For instance, that's all you do is tarot. Or yeah, tarot. Let's just go with tarot. And so you're like, Spirit, I want to know what ancestor this is that is working with me. You can utilize tarot and ask question like, Spirit, could you give me description as to what their personality was like, what their career was like. And so that could give you association. Or you can go to someone who is a medium and they're able to give you that information. right? So you can get a divination done. You can do divination yourself. You can go to someone who's a medium to give you that specific information. And if you don't do divination, you don't want to go nobody to get a divination, you can ask spirit. Spirit, can you give me show me directly who this ancestor is? So for instance, I think it's your grandmother. Spirit, if this is my grandmother, can you give me some signs, some blatant signs that this is my grandmother? And a day may pass, a child, you may be going down the street somewhere, honey, and all of a sudden you hear your grandmother's favorite song bumping in a car next to you, and the spirit has sent you the sign and the confirmation. Okay. I keep experiencing workings on me and blocking my blessings. Hey, image boss moves. Um, you keep experiencing workings on you that are blocking your blessings. How do you know that work is being done on you? How did you come to that awareness? I can feel the energy. Oh, about the working being done. I would divine on it. Okay. I would divine on it. I would definitely divine to see why it's happening. Okay. And who is doing it. Okay. And even if you can't figure out exactly who, why it's happening, right? Get divination to confirm that this is what you're feeling, that it is workings and things being done to you. Um, and then if you can do that, if you are feeling that, and if it is true that works are being done on you, then that's when the cleansing work comes. That's when the protection work comes. Okay. That's when the curse breaking workings come. And so if you are a root worker yourself, you can create those things. If you need to go to a root worker to get that done, then you can go to a root worker to get that done, get those baths and things made. I am a root worker. And so root working consultation, we could tap into that and see if this is actually what's happening. If it is coming from someone else, if this is something that's coming through your lineage, you're just getting the brunt of it, or if or whatever it is. And then you get the work and the things done for. But you always want to do divinations point blank period when you are doing some type of work. When you're before you do some type of work or you think some working or something is done on you. Hey God, it's my homie. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, Concrete Rose. Hey. Hey everybody. Happy to see you. Hello, Amora. Hey, do you think there any significance to remembering being born? Hold on, someone asked me about being born backwards. I don't know what that means. I don't know specifically what it means to be born backwards. If there's any doulas in the house, honey, who may understand what that may mean spiritually, I'm not sure. Do you think there's any significance to remember being born? Like you remember that? Like you remember your birth? Hmm. That's very interesting. Um, I mean, it just speaks to your parts of it like being removed from my mom. Yeah, I mean, well, it just speaks to your awareness, your spiritual awareness. Hey, Poppy Goddess. Hey, hey, hey. It just speaks to that. It speaks to how aware your soul was and how aware your gifts were, or awaken, excuse me, your gifts were for you to be that tuned into what's happening and to recall that, because that's not a function of the brain. Because the brain, especially those type of images and things like that, the baby would not be able to process that. So that is it's a spiritual observance and knowledge. Hey Shayla, hey, hey, hey. Hey man. Oh yeah, I know it's Manny. I know it's you, boo. Hey Shayla. Oh, I forgot. I gotta look back at YouTube. Hey, 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 hey. I always question it because how do I remember that day? Right. Hmm. And also, maybe you were astral projecting to where you could witness that. In your memory, do you see it as an overhead view? Like, does it look like you're looking over the room? Oh, yes. All right. You are astral projecting. So your spirit was out of your body watching it happen, like floating around the room. You're astral projecting. Boom. Come on, astro travel. I'm doing well, Shayla. I'm well. I'm so well right now. Presently. Yes, astral projecting. As a baby. Yes, you were. Yes. That's astral projecting when your soul, your consciousness is able to separate from the physical and to do a sort of remote viewing. No, let me not use that term. But essentially your soul is able to, well, it's not the same, but the soul is able to see and observe from outside of the body. Mhm. What do I think of Saint Michael? Well, I don't really work with the well, I don't really I don't work with the saints, so I wouldn't really be the good person to um talk about that, you know. I just knew I wasn't crazy. Thank you for answering that. And you're welcome. And so now you know that from birth you've had a natural ability of astral travel. So perhaps that is something that you can do and work on in meditation. Hey everybody. Hey Jax. Hi Abby. Hey, Camille. Nikki. Assume listen drink. Yeah, go ahead, Jazz Meow. My husband has spiritual gifts. His mom does too, but doesn't tap into them due to unwanted occurrences in his childhood. He supports my journey, but hasn't joined me. Any advice? You have to accept. So let's talk about it. I currently, how much of this do I want to converse about? Let me think about it. Hold on. Let me talk to myself real quick. And don't try to be trying to listen either. Let me talk. I'm talking to myself real quick. Hold on. I'll put it like this. I know of couples that have two different spiritual beliefs systems, and they work fine because the foundation of their relationship is not dependent upon each other practicing the same thing. So, for you as an individual, if that is something that is critical for you, then that may be a problem. But if it's okay for your spouse to respect what you practice or respect what you believe, but still do what they do and just take their own time, that should be okay to me. Everybody is not uh, everybody is not for everything. Hey Jax, everybody is not for everything. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's that. You have to determine what are you willing to do? Tell me, are you willing to do? What are you willing? What are you is that are you willing to? be kind of just supported on the journey, or you're like, "Get in this thing." I just would love for him to practice with me. Okay, so this is the thing, because fear is at the base of it, right? You said, due to unwanted occurrences in the childhood. He may not all the way trust it because of his experiences. So sometimes the best thing that you can do is to be an example. Sometimes that's the best thing. Just be an example. But I can tell you that it tends to be infectious. Okay. It tends to be infectious. So there he gonna pick it up. Hmm. Like for like for example, if it was that I was potentially in a partnership with someone at this potential time, this is all hypothetical. If hypothetically I was in a relationship of some sort at this particular time, and this hypothetical situation, hypothetically speaking, I hypothetically have an individual who understands what I do, has roots in what I do, but does not do what I do. But if I tell this individual hypothetically that you need to take this spiritual bath, take these herbs, do this, burn this candle, you need to do this. He hypothetically, he's going to do that because he knows that though he does not hypothetically practice what I hypothetically do, he knows that I'm correct and he knows. So he's going to do the things. Now remember, this is all hypothetical. He's gonna do the things, even though he is not a bona fide root worker, rock shaker, smoke blower. He's gonna do it. He's gonna be like, listen, he told me to go in the bath with these roots and do this, and that's exactly what I did. Okay. Anytime he tells me to do something, I'm going to do it. And that's enough for me. That's enough for me because what that does is that lessens the chance of you getting yourself caught up in some stuff that I have to windmill in the spirit for you to get out of. My ancestors speak through him to me at times. I'm sure. But you also, you just have to let people flow. Let people flow. And if it is meant for him, because it also may not be meant for him to do those things, you know. So that's also, you know, what books would I recommend? I don't like. So they have the Hoodoo Herb and Root Work book. It's like a Hoodoo Herb and Root Work Magic or something like that. Um Book. It's like a green book that has a lot of herbs and things like that. It's like I even think there's even like what was it, the encyclopedia of like magical herbs or something like that. I think that's the name of it. Those are really great books. What kind of spirituality are you teaching? What spirit are you led by? Okay. Um, the type of spirituality that I teach is one that is rooted in oneness, one that is rooted in holistic wellness, where the mind is well, where the physical body is well, and where the spiritual connection, spiritual nature is well. Okay. I teach that the spirit, when I use the term spirit, um, I'm referencing to the source energy that is found in all living things, that is the fabric of the universe, that is the birther of all things. Some may refer to that energy as God. Some may refer to that energy as universe. Some of them may refer to that energy as Allah. I don't know the appropriate response to your assalamu alaikum, so I'm just gonna say hi. 'Cause I don't want to be offended. I don't know. I can't recall the proper terminology at this time. So I'm saying, hey, what's up? Some refer to as God, as Allah, as different names. But it is my belief that source, spirit, God, the mother, is found in all things. And because of that, all things are to be cherished and loved and cared for. That's what I believe and that's what I teach. I had a dream of flying scorpions, black with touches of brown, and I was slashing through them. Really? Alaikum salam. Perhaps. I think that is correct. I had heard three different things in my mind in the response. I said, now y'all not finna catch me trying to respond and mess it up, and then y'all play it back. They didn't even know how to say, it's not gonna be me. Okay. Yeah, so how did you feel in the dream? Anytime you're interpreting dreams, you always have to check in with how you felt. Did you feel frightened? Did you feel victorious? Did you feel motivated, determined, invincible, unstoppable? How did you feel in the dream? Because that makes the difference. And I love when people ask me, what is it that I believe? Because sometimes I feel like people are wanting me to go two different directions. They want me to say I'm Holy Ghost filled, covered in washing the blood of the Lamb, or they want me to go into a space of opposition to that. And I think that my answer, you can't really be offended by my answer because it incorporates what you may believe as well. My first thought, it has something to do with situations in my life right now. Honestly, it felt as if I was breaking through something. And that's the truth, because that's the difference, right? If you know that you are overcoming, right? Breaking down barriers in your life, and you have this dream of you slashing these scorpions, right? I'm assuming they were large, okay? Scorpions are also poisonous. And so you were defeating all of these things. And I believe that's the focus, that's the perspective you should maintain. And that's the takeaway. The spirit or your mind was letting you know that you are overcoming, right? That you are making good decisions, that you are breaking through the barriers. Mhm. Absolutely. And, one thing that I don't like in the spiritual community space, in the greater spiritual community space, is a denouncing of the brain, or I'm not gonna say denounce, I'm saying exclusion, an exclusion of the brain and of the mind. But before I get to that conversation, I have to say, I look good today. I just have to say this. I I I have to just I have to just say this. I look great. I just had to I had to take a moment. Okay, the skin is looking good. Okay, this blue the blue is really eating. The blue is doing it for me. So I just had to just take a take a second. I just had to take a second to say that for me. Sometimes you must take a second, okay, to hype yourself up. Okay? Because if the thank you, Walt B. Because if you don't do it, who will? If you don't hype yourself up, who is going to hype you up? Okay. And the glasses are popping with it. Oh, and the one thing y'all don't see, I also have this necklace here. Oh, did y'all think I was coming jewelry less? Think again. If you thought I was coming jewelry less, oh, think again. I just want y'all to know if you thought I was coming jewelry-less without the turquoise in the center, it's important, and highly suggested that you have a different thought. Okay. All right. It's important for you to have a different thought. Have a different thought. The jewelry is giving everything that it's supposed to give. Hey, you know, you just got to do what you have to do sometimes. Okay, and we're back with our regularly scheduled program. What do you think dreaming about ice means and feeling calm? Exactly that. That you may need to cool down. You may need to chill out, quite literally. Like, look at your life. Are you um overworking? Are you worried about things? Are you doing the most? Or do you think that time is running out? And sometimes the spirit comes to say, chill. I want to continue on my other point, and I don't think I finished. How people exclude the brain and exclude the mind, and all of a sudden, you think that if you find out that it's your mind, then it's invalid, and that's not the truth. That's not the truth. It just means here we go. Your brain is able to solve your problem. That problem is solvable by the mind, and that's still a plus. It's still a plus that it's solvable by the mind. That's still a plus. It's still a plus. It's never ever a bad thing if you are the answer to your problem. It's never a bad thing if you are the answer to your problem. That is an excellent thing. You are the answer. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. That's it. You are the answer. So sometimes in the spiritual community, you get pulled really deep into the wrong side, honey, the wrong energy, the wrong thing. You get pulled and you fall into the abyss of nothingness because you don't want to give any credence to your brain. You don't want to pay attention to the brain. This is in any spiritual community, the church, your religious, your The African traditional religion, you gotta acknowledge that mental wellness and chemical imbalances and things of such nature exist. If not, you're gonna be doing spiritual baths when you really need medicine. You're gonna be burning candles till there's no more candles left in the city when you really need therapy. You're gonna be sitting around here lighting everything ablaze, and you really need you shaking rocks, blowing smoke, chopping up snakes, okay, tackling goats when that's not what you need. Jeff Cragen, Jeff, who are you? Am I taking guests? No, I'm not taking guests, Jeff, because when I do take guests, Jeff, the people don't do the right thing. It's nothing personal, Jeff, I promise you. But when I take guests, the people come up here, show their private parts, and they cussing, they don't be serious, you know, nothing of that nature, Jeff. I help you let go of anxiety, trust, joy, love, and true peace. They don't do the right thing. Jeff, what was your point, Jeff? But that comment section is strong. If I knew you and we conversed with each other, then I would have no problem being like, "Come on up." But because I don't know you, I just don't do that. Trust, trust, trust you, Jeff. I don't know you, Jeff, but they don't do the right thing. They don't, and too many times. And the other thing is, hey, I don't want to slip and slide out of character on here. Oh my God, I'm not them. Okay, Jeff. And guess what? I believe you. However, I said what I said. Okay. But we can discuss in the comment. What's up, Jeff? What was your point? Did you have a question? LOL, you're awesome. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you. I promise it's nothing personal. But I tell you every time the people they don't do the and maybe it's my discernment. Maybe it's me. So I eliminate all possibilities of foolishness. All possibilities of foolishness. Jay, listen, all possibilities. I colored yesterday like you suggested and had no thought. It was nice. Come on, amen. I'm telling you, y'all sleep on the coloring. Okay. Jax. Ugh. What do you think large bodies of water mean in dreams? Large bodies of water, it varies. Water is definitely a very feminine. It's relative to feminine energy. A lot of time it leads us to our um spiritual gifts, our spiritual abilities. It's a calling to tell us to lean back in, to tap back in, all right, to reconnect with that energy. Um, it also can be relative to a birthing of some sort. Doesn't always have to be a physical baby or somebody pregnant, but it can be ideas and things that need to be brought into fruition. Again, what was your feeling experiencing those um bodies of water in the dreams? Always about the feeling. How are you receiving it? Did you feel at peace? Did you feel amazed? Creole Conjure, hello from Louisiana. Hey, 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 Creole Conjure. Yes. Hello. Mm, 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 mm. Baby. Hey, mama, baby. How are you? I'm well. I'm well. I'm doing well today. I'm just, we having a good spiritual Q&A where people ask questions and I give um my perspectives and things on it. It's okay. It was very dark, also like the atmosphere. Was the water moving or still? You told me something and it is coming into fruition before my eyes now. Well, come on, confirmation. I appreciate the confirmation. My goodness. That's how it be though. That's how it be. Oh, okay. Well, see, that's okay. Laniera, hold on. Laniera said water was moving. It was very rough. I was on a boat. Okay, now this is very different. Then I thought you were saying you were just sitting there looking at the rising water, like, wow, here's an ocean, here's a lake, here's a river. No, you are in the midst of a storm. There's a storm, yes, sir, over the ocean, and it's moving its own way. If your soul ain't anchored in Jesus, it will surely wash away or drift away. That's very different. Let's talking about storms are brewing. You going through trials and tribulations. Is that something you're currently experiencing in your life right now? Walt says, yes, I have to say my last reading was spot on too. Thank you, Walt. Thank you, Walter. I play a lot, but thank you. I was in a dark space of rebuilding me. Okay. Gotcha. But listen to that song. There's a storm over the ocean and it's moving its own way. If your soul ain't anchored in the spirit, source, universe, God, Jesus, whatever you believe, it will surely drift away. So at this particular time, I would say for you, the spirit is telling you, anchor yourself. Dun. If you ain't experiencing it, it's a storm over the ocean, and it is moving its own way. If your soul ain't anchored in the spirit, it will surely drift away. So it definitely can be a prophecy. It could be forewarning you of trials and tribulations to come. So yes, what do you think getting bit by animals like dogs or a tiger mean in dreams? Really? hmm. Well, I had a dream that I had a dream that I was hold on. I need to have private meeting with myself. Hold on real quick. Where were you at when you were attacked? Where were you at in the dream? In any of these dreams, are you in the same place, the same location? Were you at first thinking that the tiger was friendly or the dog was friendly and then it turned and it started biting you? What was the circumstances? What was the what was the matter? What was the matter? What was the matter at hand? Nope. It just depends. I mean, it just depends. That's why, like, you have to like dreams. I'm telling you, you got to divine on dreams. You got to do a divination, ask the spirit what it means. Because the reason why they're showing it to you may not be the reason, may not be what books on dreams say. When you look at the dream dictionary and all that, it may not be the same thing. Tracy said, for instance, no, Tracy said, I have the dogs, lions, and bears dreams whenever I'm worrying myself about a situation. Mm. Oh, yep. Boom. The dogs were friendly and then they started playing too much. And that's what happened in my dream. A lot of times it's that someone who may be friendly with you is not actually for you. Okay. And will turn on you because that's the same thing that happened. I had a dream that I was bit. I was a tiger. Okay. That was walking with me. And I was like, okay, it's cool. It's on my side. All of a sudden that hoe started playing with me. And I was like, "Oh, okay, no, just a little tiger." And it started sucking on my hand. And it was at that moment I realized, oh, this is getting ready to be over for me. This was getting ready to be over for me in T minus five, four, three, two. And so I took off running and it came after me. And I ran inside, slammed the door, and I ended up like having to kill it. But come to find out, that particular thing, that animal was linked to a particular individual against me and was fake and using me and all of that. So I'll say that. Hi, I'm conflicted with the whole people are mirroring your shadow. Anything you dislike is a reflection of your shadow. Do you believe that? No, no, it's not such a general thing. What I do believe is that if it keeps showing up outside of you, it is a reflection of what is inside of you because of the law of correspondence, which states that your internal environment projects to your external environment. Saying that there's something, if you don't like something about somebody, it's like your own, you'd actually do that. That's not the truth. I don't like people that abuse people. I am not an abuser. I don't like that you do that. There's just no. Mm-mm. That's just too general. It's too general. But again, for instance, even stepping, I'm gonna take it from a southern route, moving out of the spiritual. If you keep dating folks, being friends with folks, and every person you have been friends with lie, cheat, you fell out with this person. You keep falling out with every single one of your friends. Every relationship ain't working out. You keep falling out with this person. Everybody, you ain't got no friends. You don't fell out. It's you. You are the common denominator. It's you. It's you. There's something about you that keeps finding you in these relationships, these connectionships. It's you. I believe that. If you keep being done wrong by the same individual and you're like, "Oh my god, what is it? What is it? Why are you it's still you because What are you doing to convince yourself that you need to stay in this connection ship? I'll wait. So it's you. But the whole idea that it's a reflection of your shadow and all that, I think that that is not thought through thoroughly. It's not thought through thoroughly. Speaking of not thought through thoroughly, I just went to see The Color Purple, but I'll be doing a separate review on that. Next. Okay. I just have to shoot that straight. You did have to, I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all had to catch a stray. The best teaching on spirituality is Islam. It's detailed. Well, and you know what? The best part about being a human is that you have your own opinions, and that is amazing. And so, if for you that is the best teaching, then that's the one you got to stick with. I'm glad that works for you. That's great. But see, this is where we have to be mindful when it comes to religions. You got to be mindful that you don't fall into a supremacy way of thinking, that your practice, your religion, your way of doing spirituality is superior, is better than everyone else's. And that's supremacist. And so when you say, and I'm not going to pretend to understand your intention behind that statement, but I am going to take it for what you said. And you said that the best teaching on spirituality is Islam. That's what you say, right? But that statement, period, is supremacist because it is presenting the idea that because it is Islam and also your preference, that it is better than. You can say the best teaching for me, the best way in which spirituality has been taught to me was through Islam. And I would say that's amazing. In fact, I may even inquire about that. Tell me why did that what are you getting from that practice, from that religion? What is it about that religion that is informing you, educating you, uplifting you, keeping you tethered and inspired? But when you come in saying that this is the best in a room full of people, on a live full of people who have varying different spiritual beliefs, religions, and practices, it can come off in an unloving way. Thank you, Erica. I appreciate you. Well, details doesn't equate to truth. So because it has details, it's better. And that's another, and you said because it's very detailed. Slow so was Adolf Hitler's plan to exterminate the Jews. Very detailed. So was the transatlantic slave trade. That doesn't equate to it being better. So that's why we just have to be very mindful of how we carry on. We must be mindful of that. And I have so was the movie bad? I'm going to say I directed the show And because I directed the show, I've also read the book, and I've directed the show, I read the book, and there was certain themes, certain things that caused the film to fall on its face because I'm do a review on it. I'll do a review on it. I think we should all support films, black films. I think people worked hard on it. But Hitler's plan wasn't spiritual. Well, I want to start by saying that if you missed what I was trying to convey, then I just don't believe we have a true conversation here. Advice on OMC. Do you suggest having a birth chart reading before a personal session or does it matter? Um, Not necessarily. It doesn't matter. You may be um, those I think exist separately from each other, Erica. Um, but if you are you talking about for me, like my sessions when I have like personal readings and stuff like that? Are you talking about that, Erica? For me, I would say do the personal session first because um or it doesn't really matter. But in the personal session, you may be um referred to your natal chart and it tends to come up that the spirit talks about certain planetary placements and things like that. So if you don't know it, then you may be like, oh snap, and it'll, it's something for you to find out. But it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter ultimately, Erica. What's your preferred way to use your money or abundance oil? Yeah, my preferred way to use the oil is to pray. I use it with prayer. And anoint when I get money coming in, I want to bring money in, I anoint my wallet, I anoint my card. I pray with it. If I do a working with a candle or something like that, that's for abundance and things like that, I would anoint or consecrate the candle with with that oil and things. So I would do that. Yeah, I'll just put on my hands and pray. That's what I do. Any advice on how to prepare for future trials that my dreams are warning me of? Yes, grounding yourself, making sure that you are firm in your spiritual practices. Okay, making sure that you do your prayer work, you do your meditation work. You do everything that you are supposed to do to keep yourself centered. That's the blessing in that song. That hymn, it was not hymn, the old gospel song. If your soul is an anchor, anchor yourself. Anchor yourself in your practices. Anchor yourself so that when the storms come, because you can't stop the storm, you know, just anchor yourself. Keep yourself anchored. Keep yourself grounded. That's the best preparation. Corbin Jordan. Hey, Jeremiah. Hey. Hey. Yeah. The devil tried to get my voice. Hey. Yeah, you're so welcome. No problem. Yeah. So let me ask y'all this. What religions do you practice or what are y'all spiritual practice? How do y'all identify spiritually? Let me ask y'all that question because I'm interested to hear that. What do you practice? How do you identify yourself spiritually? What if you're a part of a religion? What religion are you a part of? They just said free flowing spiritualists. Love that. Don't get quiet on me now, Clock app. Don't get quiet on me now, IG. I'm with Minister Farrakhan. Okay. So would that be so you're a part of the Nation of Islam, or you just align with Minister Farrakhan? I practice African spirituality. Mhm. Eclectic, holistic spiritualist. Oh wow, I love that. Come on, eclectic. Okay, Tracy said, "I am me. I do what I do. Mind your business." That's it, Tracy. I'm screaming. I'm not sure just yet. That's okay. I got you. I like to learn about a little bit of everything. Okay, I love that. I love that. Hmm. So that's why FXK was busting me upside my head about Islam. I got you. I'm growing, evolving. I think there's I've heard a lot of Minister Farrakhan's messages that I've resonated with. So there's some of the beliefs that he has expressed that I agree with. I'm growing, evolving, learning, and healing. I'm experiencing on my journey. That's all. Love that. How do we get to a point of certainty? I don't think there's a how to. I think it is, you know, when you're clear, right? When you understand what it is, you understand what it is. You know, I don't know. I don't think because part of the reason why I asked and it was very few responses, and I'm surprised. I got very few responses in conjunction with how many people are present. And to that I say, I'm figuring things out now. Was previously non-denominational Christian. Gotcha. And to that I say, words, right, are necessary and equally inadequate. Words are necessary and equally inadequate. So titles and labels, which labels are not a bad thing if it aligns with you. You I don't think they have to be bad, but I also think that we search as a human race for belonging. And so we think that we need a name for what it is that we do. We think that we need to be able to categorize ourselves. And the ancient ancestors didn't have a name for it. You know what the ancient ancestors called it? It was called living. It's called being alive. And there was not a need to have different religions because the ancestors practiced their spirituality in their walking, waking, moment by moment life. So it is okay to not have a name for it or a label for it or a category for it. That is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Right now, I am studying Egyptian spirituality. I consider myself a Christian open to African spirituality. I'm still navigating and learning. Gotcha. I love everywhere that you are. I love reading everything that I've seen so far. I love that. I love it if you are a Christian because then you're telling me that you are finding alignment with the divine. You're finding peace and wellness in what you do. Hopefully. If you tell me that you're part of the Nation of Islam, I hope that that is resonating with you. You're finding wellness in that. If you are a free flowing spiritualist, as I saw in the comments, I love that. If you are part of an African traditional religion, I love that. You know, if you're like, Darcy, I'm just outside, I love that. There's so many forms that spirituality can take. And so I'm happy that whatever you're doing, you're finding peace with it. If you are not, well, then it's at that time that you must find yourself something else to do. Ooh, let me see. I don't know if Instagram is gonna stay on or not because I heard somewhere saying that Instagram only allows an hour. So if Instagram get cut off, y'all know what happened. Come over to the YT, to my YouTube or to my clock or to my TikTok. Yeah, I don't have a label or title. I'm just experimenting, exploring my truth and whatever that looks like. And that's good. That's good. So you think what Minister Farrakhan teaches is good for you and and black people? I think that there are some things that Minister Farrakhan has said that I was like, "Oh, that's that. I love that. That's powerful." You know, that's powerful. I cannot summarize his teachings and everything that he teaches because I don't agree with the doctrine of Islam. So I cannot say that. But I can say that there are some things that he says. There's some things that a lot of people say, "Oh, I love that." But that doesn't mean even in the slightest. Bri I'm sorry, Bryce. I don't have guests up here, Bryce. What did you disagree with? I mean, first and foremost, okay, anytime I go into and I observe a religion, a spiritual space, um, or anything of that nature, the very first thing I look for is the role of women. I look at how do they treat the women. I look at the freedoms of women. I look at when I see the women where they are. Are the women in the front? Are the women teaching? Are the women allowed to have retain some type of power or a power that is equal to that of the men that's present? And because I don't see that at all, that for me is already I'm out. Get somebody else to do it, you know, because you can't get more powerful than the womb. So to have women in any space of subservience, to me, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. When I look at the poster of a spiritual space and you got 55 men up there, but I don't see the women. where I go into the sanctuaries and the men sit at the front and the women sit in the back, or the men are all on one side and the women are all on the other side. I take issue with that. Anywhere that the feminine is repressed, oppressed, suppressed, I'm out. Can't subscribe, can't support. Give me back my funds. We all have different perspectives and opinions. Not everyone will agree on the same thing. Mhm. Kiana says, I'm not sure where I'm at, but I feel as if I'm being called for something, something that has been in me my whole life. The more I go down this spirit rabbit hole, I feel so much at home. There you have it. Well, keep falling, Alice. Okay. So that for me, that so like I said, so when I see those types of things or um it just, it sends me. And you as a practitioner, or excuse me, as a devotee, or I guess I don't know if you're as a being a member of the Nation of Islam, what's your role? Do you think that you as a man is more powerful than a woman, or has more of a connection to God than a woman does? What do you think about that? Because a lot of the men are the head of the household, you know, that type of language. All that get somebody else to do it for me personally, but I'm interested to see what you believe. Men supposed to protect and provide, but we teach respect and protect black women. Okay. Protect and provide, but are you more powerful? Are you the head of your wife? Do you believe that the man has the power? Braxton, it's a no. That's what's gonna take it out for me. Manda said, okay, so Manda dated a 5 percenter and said, yeah, that wasn't for me because he felt like I should walk in his shadow. I shouldn't be equal. He was God and I was earth. Ooh, wait a minute. Something about the way that red knocked me back. The way that red knocked me back. Well, men are and women are different. Physically, men are stronger, but women reproduce. So you're avoiding it. You're kind of I don't want to use the term avoiding. That may seem a bit confrontational, but you seem to be moving around what the question is. Do you believe that you as a man has more, let me not say power, authority than a woman does, or that a man has more authority than his wife. It was worded like, "Oh, that's how it was worded?" Ooh, child. Oh, it was worded to do that. LOL, go find your socks on. Yeah, oh yeah, you did knock my socks out. So I don't I want to that is the key part of the question. Do you believe that you as a man, you have more authority than your wife? I don't practice. I'm not in the Nation of Islam, so I'm not, and I've never been. I've not been connected, so I'm just asking this question because if it is what I think it is, then well, for me, you're gonna have to get someone else to do it. One can't be without the other. You need men and women for balance. So you don't believe that in a union between a man and a woman in a marriage, right? That when it comes to decision makings, there is no God designated authority that a man has over his wife. Do you feel women are superior? I want to get clear about the question I'm asking first before we change. Did God designate the man, to have more power or more authority than the wife? Is that what the belief is? Again, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. But it really helped me in my understanding. Oh Lord, sweet Niecy, don't hop into the queer question, please. Don't hop into the LGBTQ question. Yeah, don't do that. We just please, we at the basic right now. Well, yes. I mean, men are the protectors of the women. So because okay, so thank you for answering. So yes, you do believe that God has designated males and men to have more authority over women. And the reason why you say that is because men are the protectors of the women. So am I to understand that Beyonce's bodyguard has authority over her because he is the protector of her? That's where I start to have issues. That for me is a problem. That for me is a problem because listen, my family members are country. I have country family, country. So I have women in my family that when you talk about they didn't need a man, they really didn't need a man. Not for any of these traditional things. For protection, these women had a gun in one of their breasts on this side, a butcher knife in this breast here. They were strong, stout women who ran their farms, who lassoed their cattle. They did all of those things. Okay, so from being a protector and a provider, I have had experiences where women, they just that was not a thing that was required for them. So that's part of my qualm there. They had the power of God in the Smith and West, and they did. This is what my experience is. I grew up with women like my sister loved cars and she could fix a car. She know all the parts of the car, all that type of stuff. Me, I'm not going out there dealing with the car. My dad would try to teach me. I would just look for a second and then slowly slide back on into the house. So when we talk about these traditional masculine roles, right? The protector, the provider, it starts to get it gets weird. It gets weird for me. For me. I believe I don't believe anybody's superior to anybody, and that's the thing. Religion, many of them bring about that. Men have always been the protectors of women. Now we in America, so we not the same as African, bro. So would you say that men have always been the providers of women? Or let me say this. Tell me if you agree with this or not. Do you believe that the traditional role of the man is to be able to provide completely financially for the women, protect and provide, and take care of everything for the woman because that was the way it was. Is that something that you believe? Because I'm bringing that up because there is a narrative out here um, that, you know, there was a time back in the day where the man took care of the woman and the woman, and then feminism came. You say yes. Gotcha. The lie detector determined that is a lie. That's not the traditional way. There's not been a point in time in history. We have lost our language, history, culture, religion, and name, so we don't know how to behave. But that doesn't matter, right? Because you just said we're not in Africa. We're not in Africa no more. So language, culture, that none of that stuff matters, right? So we're here. The belief that because I love this conversation because there's education here. The belief that there was a time period where black men in particular paid for everything, took care of the woman, and the woman didn't have to do anything is a lie. It's never been real. It's never existed. It's a lie and it's a trick bag. If that were the case, we wouldn't have images of black women as maids, as factory workers, okay, as secretaries, okay, as doing laundry. We wouldn't have all these images, and these women would not. The black woman has always worked, always. It has never been a point in history where the black woman got to just kick her legs up in the air and lay back and drink lemonade. The black woman has always had to work alongside the black man. And now I'm not going to say alongside. Let me correct that. The black woman has always had to work just as the black man has worked. They all okay. There's never this traditional male. Diamond Styles does an excellent job on breaking this whole concept down on her YouTube. Diamond Styles, with a Z, Styles. Okay, the traditional male and that traditional masculine thing for black people, that's not real. You had white women, white women had that reality in partnerships where the white man had enough of an economy, enough money, enough wealth to do that. That is a story that white women in their history can attest to, which is why when that started to shift, the white women were upset. And then they started to step into feminism. But the belief that black women were not, um, oh, what's her name? Wait, hold on, let me look up because I wanna get the correct name. The belief that white women were bringing up feminism, and it's a white woman that with feminism, and that's a white female ideology is a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. You have black women on record discussing feminism in the 1800s, and the white woman starts to get upset because the blacks were starting to get rights. And guess what? The blacks also not being able to do labor anymore by force. And so then what starts to happen is, white woman, you're going to have to start working. And then through that starting to work, you're going to start noticing inequality in pay. And now you're angry. Now, now you're angry. Now you're angry. So I want to be very clear. All of that ideology of the traditional man and what happened and what the women were just taking care of, the black women were just taken care of, never happened, never existed. If there were isolated families who could do that, you have to understand that the funds had to be there to do that. And if you look at the economic disparities in pay for black folk, they were going to be making significantly less. Okay? So that was not a thing that was common. It was not a common thing. So the men are making all of these, hey, Dee, hey, hey, hey. The men are making all of this content and all of these videos talking about, you know, you supposed to be able to just provide everything for your woman. She shouldn't even have to work or do any of that. Causes other men who are not in that space of economics to be angry because they cannot do that, which was an unreal thing. That was not. Black women have always worked. Do not fall into that anti-woman propaganda. Don't fall into the anti-woman propaganda, okay? And start taking on um like this sort of like unnecessary pressure. So, dear brother, I don't want you to carry on with that type of thinking, because at that point, this is not, rather, at this point, this is not a matter of personal anecdotes and religious resonance. This is about fact and fiction. So, even with that being underneath that, you know, we can't deal with it. I can't do it. I can't do it. The voice of women have been suppressed Even when you look at the civil rights movement, that was led by men. Men were centered. They were at the forefront. Okay, so I can't get with it. And where's the protection that they were talking about? Well, there you have that. So it's anti-woman propaganda, and we can't have it. So any space where it is believed to be that the women are less than the men have control over the women, so forth and so on. Get somebody else to do it, and I won't be the one. I mean, we're not like our African brothers and sisters. They know how to behave. What do you mean? They know how to behave. That's that type of that's the supremacist talk that's creeping in. Because when we say behave, you know, women are submissive and loving, caring, and mothers. My goodness. What is the obsession with the submissive thing? Okay. What's the obsession with the submissive thing? Submit to your man. Be submissive to your man. Why does that feel like war to y'all? That feels like war. Like that feels like we're in a you gotta submit. What is this about? What is that about? What is that about? I'm just not I when we start getting into all that, get somebody else to do. It feels like struggle that she's just supposed to go along with what you say. You have the final answer. I feel we should eradicate submission. That is a tactic and verbiage connected to warfare. I love come on, curated by Kelly. Literally had this combo yesterday. Me and my hubby removed submission from our vocabulary. We co-reign. Co-reign. Bum bum. Co-reign. Co-reign. Bum bum dum. Forever and ever. Listen, we co-reign. That's powerful. Kelly, make a video about that stat. Men have to submit to our wives. It goes both ways. Okay, well, I'm not submitting to nobody. Well, I'm not submitting to nobody. I don't like the idea of submission. I think there is something necessary about partnership, right? And about ebb and flow. Even when we talk about traditionally masculinity or femininity. I love that term, co-reign. Yes, Kelly, let the people know, utilize that term, co-reign. That is powerful. I think there's an ebb and flow, right? I think there are sometimes, and let me speak to my witnessing of my parents. There were times when, bro, don't do what your wife want and see what happens. Okay. So it's just clear to me that I appreciate you, brother, being in the space and observing, but it also is clear to me that we're kind of pitching in different leagues here. We're in different weight classes on the subject matter. Well, I appreciate you. I witnessed an ebb and flow here within and the relationship, and there were times where my father couldn't quite advocate for himself, and my mother would come forward. And so there were times when my father would, and we're speaking in societal terminology, not be well equipped in a certain area, and my mother's masculinity would come in. And then there were times when my mother was in her societally dominant masculine energy, and my father was doing the nurturing for my mother. So there was a flow that was dependent upon the time. It was never in a space of this person's just masculine, this person is just feminine. It was a flow where they would flow in and out of that, depending on what was necessary and what the other person needed at that given time. Submit sounds like a slave word. What we gonna do? Come on, what we gonna do is bring our whole balanced selves to each other and work together to come up with the best possible outcome. That's right. So you're saying you do or don't have to do what your wife say? First of all, I don't have a wife, so let's start there. And the possibilities of me being having a wife is slim. I don't have a wife. I'm a bisexual man, but I don't have a wife. So let's just start there. I don't know. I've heard that as a man joke, but you know, I just I don't have a wife. I think everybody should listen to everybody though. I love how you use your words. Thank you. I try to be careful and kind and articulate with what I'm saying. So I witnessed the flow. I just witnessed the flow. It wasn't a submit because my father didn't know everything. Clearly, he didn't know everything. My mother didn't know everything. Clearly, there was clear like you. This is not your realm of existence. Hmm. So that's why when we talk about this one being more, I don't think that's practical, and I think that's unfair for everybody. I think it's unfair for everybody. It's unfair for the man. It's unfair for the woman. I think it's just collectively unfair, honestly. And I don't think it is anything that you can maintain. Hey, James. How are you? I love you back, James. Not Darcy. Oh, that's right. He does call me Darcy. I'm screaming. I forgot about that. Not Darcy, child. Ooh, that is sending me. You're not having a wife. Still, a man has to submit like a woman has to submit. There has to be balance. It's okay, Jax. He should stay in the space. There has to be balance. We can agree on that. There has to be balance. So, and also I also think that I'm not going to participate in a religion or a spiritual system um that compromises any of my morals. If I have to continue to turn a blind eye, I can't do it. And that was part of my qualm with Christianity was I was, you gotta look past a lot of things. And I'm not gonna do it. Tracy, I'm hollering. I'm just not gonna do it. I was sitting here looking and I was like, oh my God. So you're telling me God said, dude, God did what? Oh, that's crazy to me. Darcella's giving us a full masterclass in patience, coexisting, and self sovereignty, and I'm living for it. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Come on, you better witness it. So there were just certain things that I just was like, I cannot be in conjunction with the energy that thinks that this is okay. So this cannot be that. And also there's too many iterations and justifications. And that's the thing, like with the text, right? With the text, when you have a text, you are able to interpret that text like you can any literature. And you can use scriptures to oppress women. There's many scriptures in there for you to use to justify that. There's many scriptures in there for you to use to justify slavery and enslaving someone. In fact, where you can go to Exodus where God gave permission and said, this is how you do slavery the right way. You could see that in clearly in the text. So, you know what I'm saying? I just uh I just can't do it. But I am unwilling to compromise my moral compass, you know, to end up lost. Nope, 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 nope. And also there are scriptures and justifications as to why me as a queer man, it should not exist like this. They're gonna be like, you walking around with all that fabric, you got that on your head, all that stuff, child. I just, and guess what? It is unnecessary for me. It is unnecessary for me to be at peace. It's not necessary. I don't have to sit over here and stew over a text, a concept of religion. You know, it's unnecessary for me. It's unnecessary because I've already attained peace from my current belief system. So I don't have to, try to make it make sense and make it work for me and defend, you know, what I'm not even affected by. If I was practicing a religion that disagreed with my existence, I would have conflict, but I don't practice that. So unnecessary equals peace. Come on, it is unnecessary for me. Not necessary. I was wearing head wraps for a few weeks and my dreams became more vivid. Yeah, because head wraps, one, cover the crown, but also head wraps, also, um, focus that energy, especially if you cover your head with the intention. That brings about a great deal of difference. Biblical kingdom. Oh no, no. May I ask you a spiritual question? Of course, Kelly. I need a hair wrap class because the way mine's turned out. Keep being yourself with grace and style and teaching the knowledge you know. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Vaughn. That's my girl. Beautiful way to state that, I say. Hmm. It's unnecessary for me. And so that's the thing. Like I've often bowed out of certain conversations because I'm like, I'm not even affected by this. I'm not affected by this in the sense that I just, even conversation debating scripture. I am not a Christian. So I'm like, I don't need this scripture to make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't go into tussles anymore in those spaces because it just doesn't apply to me. You know, I would definitely give my perspective on a particular thing. But it just doesn't apply to me. So I just be like, hey, part of it is that, my inventor, my inventress, the source, the energy that caused me to come into being has to have a level of belief, meaning confidence in me, for me to exist. So if the source, my inventor, did not believe in me, its invention, then I wouldn't exist. Therefore, if you are telling me that my inventor condemns me for who I am, what I am, then that is not my inventor. And at that point, I close the book and read a different one. In different cultures, spirituality, and religions, are you supposed to wear specific hair wraps or specific things at specific times? Absolutely. If it is that the religion determines that. It is different religions. You look at a lot of the Jewish faith; they have head coverings. It just depends. In the Islamic faith, they definitely covered. Currently in a hotel, had a very vivid sense that the hotel we're in was going to implode, but I didn't feel endangered. Would that be symbolic of something else imploding? So bursting from like the outside in? Is that what that? Wait a minute, that's what that means, right? If something implodes, it like collapses. Right, collapsing. That's what we're talking about. Crumbling like the 9/11 tower buildings. Could that be something else imploding? Very vivid sense that the hotel we're in was going to, but I didn't feel in danger. Okay. Yeah. Because if it was actually going to crumble and your intuition was telling you that, then it would definitely be your sign. You would feel that danger sense. It wouldn't just like, wow, I feel like this is gonna collapse. There would be a sense of get out there. But absolutely, it could be a sense of that, of something else crumbling. And because danger did not accompany the feeling, the spirit wanted you to be put on the alert of that. And so for you to be aware, so if something else falls apart, a connection falls apart, wherever you're going to, if that falls apart, hey Jay Lewis, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey Jay. Then you are aware of that happening. But I feel like if it was like the place was getting ready to fall to pieces, I feel like you would have been, it would have hit you and terrorized you to make your exodus. Oh my God. Where is my other chat? Okay, y'all. Let me say this. I want to say that I love everybody, but I have a session, actually 2 sessions that I have to get to. So I appreciate y'all. Continue to do the right thing. Okay? Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Whatever you believe the right thing is. And be willing to evolve that right thing. Okay? If y'all want to catch a replay and how we got into this conversation, if you're on YouTube, hit rewind. If you're on the Clock app, go back to YouTube or go to the YouTube. If you're on Instagram, come to the YouTube. Appreciate you. Love you too, Kelly. Love y'all. I will speak to you all later. All right, bye.